That's correct.
Okay. Okay, has been a long day, sorry.
Okay, stand by. Your meeting, Madam Chairman.
Okay, so let me know when we are ready. I cannot see, the chamber.
You will. Go ahead
Okay,
and start your meeting.
do we have anyone in the chambers or no? Beside Randy?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so we are ready to go?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Good evening, everyone, to the Finance Committee meeting for October 27, 2020. So the first order in the agenda is called to order. We have quorum. Randy and Gabriel are here, okay? Next is approval of the minutes for the October 13, 2020 Finance Committee meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Any question, discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays, the motion carries. Next, in our agenda, we have public appearances for non-agenda items. Do we have anyone in the chamber online?
No, ma'am.
Okay, we're moving along. So next in our agenda is the finance director report. So Misty.
Hello, everybody. So budget obviously is a big conversation these days. So tomorrow is the committee of the whole meeting. We are starting at 6, so it's an hour earlier than normal, don't forget. The intention is that we'll go through most of the discussion tomorrow. The discussion, the questions, that type of stuff will happen at the committee of the whole meeting. We'll also have the discussion on the resolution that talks about the additional procedures for the night of the adoption in addition to what the ordinance says. So the ordinances outline very specific processes for the night of adoption. We added a couple other items to supplement that so that at the end of the meeting, we have a budget that meets levy limits. So we'll discuss those additional processes at committee of the whole also. Then at the next council meeting, we'll vote on each one of the amendments. We'll also vote on the process so everybody knows going into it. The intention is that meeting is, mostly just votes. Make amendments to amendments if you so desire, vote on them, go through them in, one by one, and then hopefully at the end we will have something that meets levy limits. If not, those supplementary procedures will allow us to go back through. So it will be a pretty lengthy meeting, especially the next council one. Other stuff.
Tomorrow?
What was that?
Which meeting? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow is it depends on how much questions you have and how much discussion you have. The night that we adopt, so it's 10 minutes per amendment is like the baseline. There are almost always at least a couple that need to be extended, which you have the authority to do. Let's say you do just the base 10 minutes, and at the end of it, you only have to do each one once. We don't have to reconsider any. That's still a 5-hour meeting at the end of an already scheduled council meeting. So that one for sure will be long.
So Misty, I don't remember, maybe I forgot, I don't remember the agenda. I saw the draft, but the budget is after our normal council meeting or is before? I don't remember. It's after, isn't it?
It's after, yep.
Okay.
We have it under unfinished business, I think.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Basically get through all the rest of the business first, and then
Yes.
at the end. Yeah. Non-budget stuff. So the simplified rate case that you guys approved a few meetings back has been approved by the PSC. So that is all good to go. I don't have a treasurer's report for you tonight. I spent most of today working on it, so we'll post it up on the website probably tomorrow, and it'll be on our agenda for the next time to talk about. Also working on the debt issuance that you guys approved last time. So we have an offering statement that we need to prepare, and then we're working on our presentation to Moody's. And then tax collection, trying to figure out how we're going to do that. Municipalities in our area are kind of 50-50 split. Some are doing only drop off and mail and then by appointment if they want to pay in person. But the other half are doing similar to what we're planning at this point, which is, have a separate room in a community center, have one-way traffic, try to keep it as organized as possible. That's what we are planning to do at this point. We'll do it in the Fitchburg room and have it set up very similar to voting. So have a check-in station, is your escrow check signed, is your personal check written out, all that, then go into the room, get it receipted, and then leave the other door. So trying to figure out some logistics of that right now.
Can we pay online too or no?
Yes, but there's a fee
Okay,
for it.
okay.
The best option, so the Dropbox is a really great option for people if they don't want to pay a fee, but they also don't want to come in either. Like, and they're okay getting the receipt on access day and after the fact. That's a great option. And then mail obviously is a good option too. And then levies are starting to come in from our overlying jurisdictions. So I got MATC yesterday. They went up 2.4% in total. And then I got the Oregon School District today. Our portion of their levy went up 21%.
What?
It's going to be a bigger hit. They just built that new school and had a referendum, so it's not terribly surprising, but that's a big increase.
I think you need to do, when you do your budget talk, you know that you do like a Fitchburg talk and you present the final number on the Fitchburg Star, explaining very well that, people that they live in the Oregon school district, that hit is not coming from the city of Fitchburg.
Yeah. So we always work with Fact TV to do kind of that little blip on talking about, this is how you read a tax bill and these are the things you look for. And I'm always very clear to point out that this piece is the city's. Even though we collect the whole thing, we're only about a third.
Do you have the rest?
Not yet. Nope. And I'm not required to get them. They're not due till November 15th.
Oh, okay.
We've got a decent amount of time still.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, any other question for Misty? No? Okay. So, Randy, do you have any question for Misty?
No, I do not.
Okay, thank you. So next, we are moving to the review of the bills, and we are going to review the detailed review of all check for $10,000 and above, dated October 1st to October 15th, totaling $209,000, $480.20. Sorry. Any question? I think these one are pretty. I don't see anything here. So, any other question? No?
No questions.
Okay, so next we move to the detailed review of all check issued, check number 121338, date October 1st to October 15th of 2020, totaling 348,000. No, I am wrong. Sorry, guys. I need my glasses. Oh no, we're fine. Totaling 348,406 with 8 cents. We're fine. Any question? I have one question, Ms. Dean. There is a replacement check for $7,000 that it was void. It was void for the UPS.
Yes. We made a payment for postage. We have our own postage meter.
Yeah.
And we make a payment to USPS to load postage on there, and then it comes off.
Yeah.
We made a payment. It went to the lockbox for the postage meter, and the lockbox people applied it to the wrong account. So we got that check reimbursed to us, and we had to send a replacement check.
Oh.
Usually we would wait until we got the check back before we would issue the new one, but with all the postage that's going out the door with absentee ballots, we decided to just send out the new check right away. But we have since gotten the refund.
Oh, you have it. Okay. Okay. Any question for any of you?
Nothing here.
There is a $600 consulting services for heirs associate. For what it was that? What is concept planning? What is the planning for that?
Do you know which page you're on?
Page 9.
9.
That may be the Nine Springs hub study.
It is, yep.
Be what?
It's the feasibility study for the hub that is paid through CETA.
Oh, that one? Okay. And why do we pay anything? We haven't started working on that.
For that feasibility study. So it was the amount that CETA authorized to kind of do the drawings that you've seen
Oh,
since
okay.
then, outreach and all of that.
Oh, okay. Now we get it. Okay. Randy, do you have any question?
No, I do not.
Okay, so we move along to the next one. So next, we are gonna review the detailed review of all P-card transactions for $10,000 and above for the cycle ending September 7, 2020 for $96,465.35. Any question? No? Okay. And next, we move to the P-card transaction for the cycle ending September 7, 2020 for $244,985.76. Any question?
Yes, I have a question. It's for Misty.
Okay.
For Misty. In this report, there's a number of transactions that are e-books. It looks all as if it were for the library. And if I'm not mistaken, it is for the library. And maybe it even references the library. How does that take place? Is it a cross charge since the library has its own budget?
Yep, so those are all library charges.
Okay.
Looking at them all. And then we actually keep track of the books for the library as well. So based on that account number, it starts with a 250. That tells me that it's a library charge. And we kind of keep track of their own financial statements based on those account numbers.
Okay, so the reports that I look at monthly with the library board, those reports are generated from you.
Yes, so they kind of generate their own reports, but it's based on the same data.
Okay, those are very nice spreadsheets, by the way, so that's why I thought, well, maybe they came from you.
No, Wendy's all over that. She's a financial person at heart.
All right, very good. Thank you for the answer.
Of course.
Misty, I have a question. You remember when we started working with the P-card transaction? When did you implement this, like a couple of years ago?
Oh, it was shortly after I started, so
Yeah.
2016 probably.
Yes, and then you mentioned that the city has some credit or refund for the amount of money that we have spent.
Yep, we get a rebate.
A
So
rebate.
similar to how you have a cash back on a personal credit card, the city has a rebate as well.
Okay, and how do you have that rebate like annually? Is applied to the account? Do you apply against some expenses, or how do you apply that rebate?
Yep, so we report it gross, so it's shown
Okay.
as a revenue. We get it quarterly, and then there's also a separate rebate that's done annually.
Mm-hmm.
And we allocate it based on the different funds that spend money on P-card. So
Oh,
if the
okay.
library, for example, is 5% of our total P-card transactions, then they would get 5% of our total rebate. Yeah. And the rebates it works out really well. So P-card is a great system for us. It's much easier for our staff to just go and get what they need, especially those small dollar things. And then my staff as well, we don't have to pay for the check writing or the postage or the envelope or any of that. Plus, then you get a rebate on top of it. It's a pretty awesome system.
And can you tell for the new people that they don't know about this, how much is that rebate or percentage of whatever it is?
Yeah, it's right around 2%, I believe. I don't know the exact percentage, but it works out to like $60,000 a year or something like that. I can look and get it. I report it in my annual report. So I'll send that out to you guys.
Okay, so thank you, Misty. So next, we are moving to the action item, and I need a motion to approve resolution R-177-20, set the solid waste collection rate.
Motion to approve?
Who approved it? Randy?
Ready.
Okay. Okay, so Bill Bolke, Director of Public Works, is here, so he's going to tell us what is this about.
Good evening.
Tonight, we're going to accept a resolution to set the rates for our refuse and recycling program that we have for the city of Fitchburg. We pick up about 5,700 to 5,800 units of refuse and recycling every year per month. So we have that many customers. And the expenses that we have for this program is around $1,100,000. For that, we do 4 yard waste pickups and 14 brush pickups as well. And the city does go and pick up apartment brush pickup, and we charge the resident or the units or the landlords per unit approximately we charge them $6.25 this year. Next year would be $6.40. So we have that expense within there as well. The increase in cost from last year to this year involve just the number of customers that are increasing. We're increasing about 100 customers. We also have a contract rate increase with military that increases from year to year. And then we also included an increase for the yard waste drop, or not the yard waste, the recycling drop off that we have over at the municipal building due to the number of cardboard increases that we've had over the year. A lot of packages that have been delivered. So we've seen a big increase in cardboard, and we included an increase in the rates to accommodate for the additional cardboard that we're seeing at the site. Let's see what else we got here. The proposed rates that we have in there will be about a 3% increase. The expenses increase approximately 6%, but the proposed rate increase is about 3%. We are going to be using about a $46,000 contingency, or it would be the, what do you call it? Fund balance, there you go. $46,000 from fund balance, so the total increase for the rate increase would only be 3%. So we would be increasing the rates from $203 per unit to $209 per unit. Public Works did approve the rate increase, and RCC has seen the rates previously and approved the rates, but it's going to them on November 7th, I think, for another approval.
So, Bill, so this one is not coming to council tonight, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
No, it goes at the next meeting.
Okay, because I saw November 9th and 7th. Okay. So my question is, we are using fund balance because we are not breaking even with the increase?
Correct. So we're proposing the 45,000 or 46,000 of fund balance that Bill mentioned. The thing I'd like to add is that using the same policy as we have for general fund of 15 to 25% after you set aside 1 year worth of state aid, we would be at 25.7%, even dipping into this that little bit. So it's reasonable. And the garbage fund is very stable. So it's not like you need to have a lot of extra reserves.
But I have a question, because I remember last year we discussed the Pelletieri contract was, I remember by this time last year, we discussed that, and that one was up. So this is what I confused, why we are seeing this coming to us when last year we approved the contract. You know what I mean? What is different that we had to approve this every year? I thought that we approved it like, when we approved it last year, we approved a contract for 3 years, and then, you remember last year we approved a contract. So I am
Take that one,
confused.
Bill?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We have a 5-year contract with Pelletieri.
Yeah, okay.
And that's the base of our expenses for the most part. But we
Okay.
do have additional items such as how many yard waste pickups we want. We could increase or decrease those per contract. We added some dumpsters. We added some areas of recycling and education and outreach. So those all impact the total expenses for the whole program. And depending on, we can choose a rate, we can choose, how, we need to make up for the expenses that we have with income. And we can choose that rate to be what we want it to be. So we could choose to go more into fund balance or less into fund balance to make that rate what you want.
But since this is a separate charge on the tax bill, that
Yeah.
charge has to be approved by council every year.
Ah,
So yes,
oh,
the
that one.
contract for the service was approved for a 5-year contract,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
setting the charge has to be done annually.
So, okay, so the new charge for this year is gonna be $209 per house.
Correct.
We're gonna see that in our, okay. So why, I have another question. Why we went to 209 or not to 210 and we break even? We don't need to go through the fund balance. What was the reasoning?
I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, so really with COVID and everything else too, a 3% increase seemed palatable to people. And because we do have fund balance, a little bit of fund balance in excess of what our policy, it seemed reasonable to apply that to buy down the rate, for lack of a better phrase. It's not sustainable necessarily, but it's $45,000 and $1 million. It's not something that's going to be insurmountable to overcome the following year.
Okay, Gabriela.
My understanding based on RCC is some of that fund balance is being applied to a couple of purchases to improve the recycling facility on Fish Hatchery. So a couple of new recycling bins and maybe some screens, if I'm not mistaken, which it seems like that would make sense for a fund balance versus a rate increase. Just by my interpretation. Is that true?
I'm not sure if the fund balance goes directly toward those specific items, but they are included as part of the rate increase for the fund balance.
I know there's talk about the CDRR deposits, if that's maybe what you're thinking too, and that would kind of be a separate bucket.
Okay. And then one other question about in terms of like just explaining services to residents, that annual recycling event that we couldn't do this past summer because of the pandemic, what we typically do with shredding services and other specialty recycling opportunities, is that funded through the solid waste rates as well?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a little bit of it within there, but mainly the services are donated.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. That's fantastic.
So, okay, so the fund balance, this is a fund balance specifically for this fund or
Correct.
for in general?
No, it's specifically for the refuse and recycling fund.
Okay. Okay.
I have a question.
Okay, yes, Sandy.
It's very, very simple. I'm just trying to understand. It's going from 203 to 209 per household in 1 year. So myself as a taxpayer for my home, I will pay 209 next year. Now, for an apartment or a condominium, you're saying it's increasing from 625 to 640. Is that per living unit within that apartment complex condominium, or is that on top of another rate? I'm just trying to equate the two together. Maybe I shouldn't compare the two.
Sure. The condominiums and apartments they pay for their own service for refuse and recycling pickup. And the city of Fitchburg provides only a brush pickup for those units, and it's per unit. So
Okay.
if an apartment building has 20 units in it, we would make them pay $6.40 per unit for the brush pickup, and it's only for the brush pickup.
Brush pickup only. Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
Is it why the increase is not comparable with the residential increase?
It's been a number of years since we've looked at how many units are using the service and how much time we spend on it. So we've been we did that cost reallocation this year to bring it more in line with what we're doing.
Yeah, but, you know, what I'm saying that you go from 625 to 640 is not a 3% increase.
Right. We have our expenses for our vehicles, the staff time, the material processing that we have, so we know how much that costs and how many hours we spend doing that and how many units are using the service. So this year we went through and did the calculation as to how much it was going to cost the city to perform that service. And that's why the rate increases as you see it.
Okay, any other question? Andy?
Nothing else.
Okay, are you ready to vote? All those in favor of resolution R-177-20 say aye.
Aye.
Nays, the motion carries. Thank you, Bill. So next, I am looking for a motion to approve resolution R-189-20 fall planting plan 2020.
Move to approve?
Okay, so who is second?
Seconds required? I'll second.
No, we don't need a
No
second.
require? Okay. Okay, so where is Scott?
I'm here.
Okay,
Okay, this is our fall planting plan. There's a total of 105 trees that will be planted. I will mention that 55 of these new trees will be planted in two of our newer parks, Terra Vesa and Fahey Fields. We do have 36 that are going to be general ash replacement. And then also 14 of these trees are in Terra Vesa in the streets between the sidewalk and the curb. We were able to stay with McKay Nursery. They were the low bidder this spring, but it should be noted that they did need to upcharge $5 per tree due to COVID restrictions and rules. But I think that's about it. Unless you have some questions.
so, yeah, I have a question. So this fall tree planting we already did it, or we are
Nope.
planning to do it this fall?
We actually had a spring planting plan, so we've got both a spring and a fall planting plan. So we did do the spring planting plan already, which was like 251 trees.
Mm-hmm.
This is our second planting this year, our fall planting plan. And McKay's was willing to keep the same price that they had when they bid it in the spring, but they did need to charge $5. $525 more for the 105 trees.
So this one, so my question was, we are planning to plant this
Oh,
tree
yeah.
now in the
This
next
fall,
two.
yep.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, they'll be planted
Okay.
this fall.
So my question is, so what about the rest of the city? So this one is only for these two neighborhoods. So what about the rest? When do we do that, in the spring?
Well, we do a combination of all of them actually in the spring and in the fall. We actually have, we have new parks that we plant trees in. That's one area. We plant trees in new developments between the sidewalk and the curb. And then we do replace ash trees that are on the terraces, along with, additional trees in our park. So there's 4 different areas, if you would, that these trees typically will be planted in. And with the park trees, with the new parks, those we pay for those trees through park improvement fees. The trees in the terraces are paid by the development. The city they do pay for the ash trees. So there's a couple different funds that we utilize to pay for the trees.
Oh, okay, I get it, okay. Now I can see from where it's coming, okay. So practically most of those trees are paid by the developer when they do the deposit for,
Correct.
okay. Any question?
Well, yes, Randy. I'm just trying to understand the process, and I understand it comes from the developer, and that was my initial assumption, but why wouldn't this be part of the plan, the program that's adopted for, well, in this case, 2020? I mean, why does it come to we're almost nearing the end of the year. I mean, how does that work that it would come around now? Why wouldn't it come around last year? Was Terravesa or was that project not
That's
fully
correct,
moving?
Randy. We actually just put in the playground. It's a newer park this year.
Sure.
And actually with the terrace trees too, we really want to wait until the trees are built, the houses are built before we put the trees in there.
Okay.
So it's really, it's a timing thing that we spent the spring and the summer to build the park and put the playground in it. Now the park's ready for, same thing with Fahey Field is ready for some trees.
Sure.
So it's a time. But we try to, have both a spring planting and a fall planting just because of that, to try and keep the projects moving forward.
Okay, so as the property sits there, the sidewalks are in, the street's in, and a new home's going to go in at some point, the tree doesn't go in until a home is built, so you could have 10 homes that are under construction?
That's true.
Okay.
That's correct. And really when when they're constructing a home, they've got curb cuts and it's difficult for them to work around the new trees. So the trees are really kind of the final,
Sure.
The final step. They build the house and they restore the landscape and those kinds of things. And then we'll come in at the end and place their terrace trees there.
Good, all right, thank you, Scott, thank you for that
You're welcome.
clarification.
And then when you say that, my last question, because we have people in our last council meeting, they talk about the diversity of the tree that we are planting in our parks. So for the Terravesa Park and the Fahey Field Park, so what type of tree are?
Oh, they're various trees, various species. We try to create diversity.
Okay.
And typically there'll be a larger species because there's no wires and those kinds of things, but certainly they need to be diverse in species.
Okay, no, to be sure that we are following what the experts say that we need to do.
Yeah, these are planting plans put together by Anna, our city foresters.
Okay.
And one question from me as well. Is there any concern about planting trees shortly before the ground freezes? Is there any risk that the trees could be lost?
Nope, it's really the best time to plant them is in the spring where they are just coming out of dormancy, and then actually they might go a little bit dormant before you plant them. You don't want to plant them in the summer because of watering and things like that. So this is really a good time. October 15th to November 15th is the time that you're going to want to plant trees in the fall.
Wow, that's fascinating. Thank you.
Okay, any other question? Okay, so all those in favor of resolution R-189-20 say aye.
Aye.
Aye, nay, motion carries. So next, thank you, Scott.
Yep.
So next on our agenda is announcement, and then our next meeting is November 10, at 5:30, I think. We need to take a look at how the agenda looks. And so that it's gonna take longer, this one, so. Any announcement? Misty, you want to say your last announcement about the budget? No?
Make sure you're there tomorrow at 6. No?
Randy, do you have anything to announce?
I do not.
Okay, so I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor to adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
Nays, the motion carries. Thank you very much and see you at 7:30.
6:06.
Thank you.
Yeah.